Hi there, my name is Iren. Welcome to Surf Stories blog. And today I want to invite you for a nice walk in Imsouane. So, our walk will start from the place where we spent last month. This is the cabins you may see behind us. We actually came with this big camper van, but we decided to stay in a cabin to have an access to the shower and toilet. And this was a very good decision, so we stayed here. It's kind of a little bit far from the main spot, so this is the Imsouane. But we decided to stay here, and our car was parked all the time next to the bay, so we kept our boards there and was walking every day. So now I want to take you for the same walk and explain a little bit on Imsouane. This walk will take something around 10 minutes. This is the ocean, very nice walk. So, and my idea is to shoot everything in single shot. I will try it for the first time, but I hope it's gonna be nice. So anyway, while we're walking, I will tell a little bit about how we ended up in Morocco, because we spent here nearly 4 months, and that's quite a lot. I will be honest, now we're nearly running away from here. So we came here with a camper van in November 2021, and we were about to stay here around 6 weeks. And first we were driving around in the north, crossing the Atlas, having a nice time in the mountains, and then we came to the ocean in Essaouira, in Sidi Kaoki, spent about 2 weeks there, and exactly this time the borders were closed. It was new, this Omicron, Corona, blah, blah, blah. So the borders were closed for who knows how long. And as we got a lot of free time in Morocco and we were not in a hurry to go back to Europe, we decided to explore the coastline, and we went all the way south to Dakhla, so nearly to the border of Mauritania. And that was nice. And about Dakhla, I'm gonna make a good video. I was filming a lot there. But after 3 weeks in Dakhla, we realized that, that's difficult to stay in the desert. And it was already 2 months as we lived in the car only. And all this little inconvenience that you can handle if it lasts for a week or 2 weeks, well, with this, toilet, shower, after 2 months, that became really unbearable. So we decided to go to Imsouane to finally be in a kind of, cultural area where we will be able to surf and just to relax and rent out the apartment or the cabin that we rented out. So we came here, and now the month is over, and the borders, by the way, are still not open. Borders are open, but ferries still don't operate because the Moroccan government has some issues with the Spanish government, and we had tickets to Genova, to Italy, but this ferry makes a stopover in Barcelona. So because there are some issues between governments, and Spain still is not open for Moroccan ferries or for ferries going from Morocco, so we cannot go back. And now we decide that, 4 months of Morocco is enough, and we're gonna leave the car here and fly back. So, but anyway, Morocco is awesome. I really love this country, and we explored the whole coastline. But in the end, after surfing, I will count now. So we surfed in Sidi Kaoki, then we went also to Imsouane, then we went to Mirleft, we surfed in Mirleft, then Sidi Ifni, and then we drove all the way down south to Dakhla, and we surfed in Dakhla. So for now, I can say that Imsouane actually is the best place out of where we were. And there are several reasons for that. I'm sorry, that was kind of a steep way up. So, why Morocco, why Imsouane is my top one? Because I'm a longboarder, first of all. I surf longboard, my husband also surf longboard, so we prefer more mellow waves. And for example, in Sidi Kaoki, waves are nice, but quite often it's overdosing. Not overdosing, but it's pumping too much for the longboard. So with the short board is okay, but with the long board, not really. And for example, they have in Sidi Karaoke, there are 2 very nice point break with the long waves, but you just cannot go there with the long board because you have to go steep, like down the narrow path along the wall, along the cliff. So it's not an option. In Mirleft, same story. Most of the time, the waves are really too big. In Sidi Ifni, same. And then we went all the way to Dakhla because the swells of the Atlantic Ocean, when they come from the north, kind of, by the time they approach the Dakhla, they are way smaller than here on Mirleft. And yes, waves there were beautiful, but there is no infrastructure. So about Dakhla, it's going to be, as I said, a separate video, but the balance between the infrastructure and the waves, Imsouane is the best. So now we are actually passing by one of the spots. Imsouane has 2 surf spots. So this one, this is called Cathedral, because somewhere there is Cathedral, I don't know. So the spot is here. It works on the mid-tide. There is even one surfer there, if you can see him. So here waves are normally way bigger. You see how it splashes. Here the waves are bigger, so short boarders prefer this spot. But when it's not that big, or I would say when it's too small for the main bay, it's crowded with long boarders as well. Here I would say there are no really hazards. There is only one rock somewhere here, but when you surf high tide, it's quite deep. And the rest is just a beach break. And of course, this wave is way less long than the Imsouane Bay. So I will show you town a little bit. It's funny, when I was in Mirleft, I found the Surfer magazine dated 2014. And there was a picture of Imsouane. And I didn't recognize this town because it was just a little village with the self-made fishermen's huts and no infrastructure, no buildings. So everything that you can see here grew within last 8 years. And now Imsouane, yeah, I think that's the most, maybe Agadir and Tagazout are also quite famous for surfing. But as for me, both Tagazout and especially Agadir are kind of too big, too much hustle. It's, you know, this big city life, but Moroccan big city life. So not really nice. And yeah, I didn't say I was living in Indonesia for 10 years in Canggu. So for me, the Imsouane is the place that reminds me the most, the environment where I used to live. So the schedule that you surf in the morning and then you may go and drink coffee and nice wave and the local community. So in general, yes, that's the most close to what I'm used to and to what I like. So in here is the first place. I'm joking that this is the Canggu part of Imsouane. This is the coffee shop. The guys, they make really nice coffee and crepes, pancakes with amlu, I highly recommend. And they sell the handmade dream catchers. Nice. So in here we are approaching the central area of the town. So, okay, no cars. So now before we will see the beautiful wave, I will show you a little bit in the town and share the places that I liked while I was here. Not many of them because Imsouane is a small town. So if you see over there, this is mainly the apartments and guest houses and hotels, and the part with the shops and cafes, it's just here. The square, little square. So now we are entering it, and maybe I will show you better this place. So this is the rest area. A lot of people. Hello, Sawa. Everyone is smiling. So here is kind of a food court. Hey. And board rentals. This is actually the only one shop where we found wax somehow. There were no surf wax anywhere else. So as you see, surf shops. And this is my favorite place where I usually buy the maize pancakes. So now the borders are open, so it's quite a lot of people already. I have to look at the screen, otherwise it falls down. Okay. This is cafe where the guy who cooks there, he used to study in Ukraine, so he speaks fluently Russian and Ukrainian, probably, I don't know, Russian for sure, and he cooks awesome tacos. And normally in Morocco, tacos is the like wrap with the meat and fried potatoes, which is kind of strange. But there you can ask and replace it with fresh vegetables. Highly recommend. So this road will lead straight away to the port, but we will go another road. And this is Google Shop. Everything there is in Google. This is where we always buy water and vegetables and everything. And this is main roundabout. Check. And this is the road that goes out of the town. And this is exactly the parking lot where we parked our car. So we kept our boards here because this is the closest. Ooh, very loud car. Hello. This is the closest way to the wave. Here you can buy some souvenirs. Yes, and what is really good in Imsouane, nowhere else I've seen it, douche and toilet. So 10 dirhams is to take a hot shower and something 2 dirhams, I think, for the toilet. So, ta-da! And now we finally see the ocean. So let's go check. Yeah, this is now our normal morning routine. Just go here, check, and go surf. Wow, today we surfed and I'm exhausted, to be honest, but it's still surfable. So today the low tide, Imsouane the Bay, it works on the low tide. So today low tide was around 12 and now it's 2 p.m. So it still works. And we started at 11 and surfed from 11 to 1 p.m., something like that. Both exhausted. So, but yes, better look at the wave. Here, it's a parking with the cars. So we will go a little bit higher up with a better view. And then I will explain you everything I know or I figured out and I've learned about this wave. Hello! You see, everyone is very friendly here. And that's true, yes. Oh, that's our favorite orange juice. Over there, also nice hotels and villas. Probably the best with the view. So, oh, maybe I will even order the orange juice. Sorry, can I have 1 orange juice? Success. So, this is the bay. So the road that I showed you before, it would lead to here. Over there is an entrance, and here is the big stair. And the wave starts from here and it goes, as you see, all the way down there. And it's all surfable. Well, what I want to say, I didn't really like how the main peak works from the point you see. There are surfers behind this concrete whatever wave breaker. So I tried several times to catch waves there, but it's very messy somehow. And when the wave enters the bay, it really calms down and it's way easier and not way shorter to catch waves from, I would say, here. It's a second peak, and then here you can catch again third peak, and here you can catch again fourth peak, and then you can go all the way down and walk around. So today we surfed nearly 4 hours, and I made 6 rounds. First round I caught the longest wave all the way down, and then second, third, fourth, fifth, 2 waves. So to the middle, then I fall because of, I don't know, I'm going to the nose or whatever, or the wave goes a little bit too flat and you cannot keep riding it. And 2 out of these 4 times, I didn't even have to move. So exactly the place where I fell down, I just stay there, look back, I see the next wave, I catch it, and I go further all the way down. So, what can I say about the conditions? Now today it's beautiful. It's something about 2 meters swell, 15 seconds period. And the tides are between nip and spring. This is very important because what I figured out that on the spring tides, which is new moon and full moon phase, so the tides are, the level of the water changes so quick that the currents are crazy. You cannot even imagine. So if you sit, for example, here and you paddle to catch the wave and you don't succeed, in 2 seconds you are 200 meters down. Okay, maybe not 200, but 100 meters down. And that's very exhausting. You see, here the surfer caught the wave from the second peak, and yes, and he will go. Maybe the wave gonna disappear a little bit and he will be obliged. He will have to catch it once again, but no, maybe no. So let's watch him. Long, long wave. Oh, I hope my hands are not shaking too much. That's you see, so that doesn't work, but the same wave, it will go down there, and maybe some of these people in the inside, they can catch it as well. Also, I wanted to tell about the kind of entry point. So the spot works when this rock, when you can see the sand next to this rock. So now the tide is nearly too high and the waves are not as steep as they are on the low tide. So normally we go around this rock and enter from this part of the beach, this part of the beach. But what also I figured out is many people, they are walking, as you see here, right along this wall, this concrete wall of breaking waves. So for me, I figured out that it's easier to enter nearly straight away here after the rock, kind of on the other side of this little beach, and then go diagonal. Because when you go along the wall, as soon as you are not behind the wall anymore, you are in the most high energy impact zone. And this is exhausting. So it's bearable, you can make it out, but it's more exhausting than if you start a little bit earlier and go diagonal. Because when you go diagonal, the wave, the white water is not that strong, so it's easy. And also because I didn't like to surf from the this main peak, and I always caught waves from this one, from the second one. It's also easier when you go diagonal and you end up exactly there. So now you see the people are fighting with this white water. Yeah, can you put so my orange juice is ready. Suck. But I will drink it after I finish. So yes, and most of the time, because the wave is bloody long, you have to go out and then walk all the way back. Yes, I started to talk about the tides, and then I switched to when the surf spot works. So it works on the low tide, but when there are spring tides, and the level of the water changes very quick, the currents are very strong, so you cannot. Yes, I told about that how you move down if you didn't catch the wave, but when you catch the wave and then you go, and if you end up here, no chance to make it up there, just no chance, because you either fight with the white water or the current takes you down. So most of the people, as you see, all the surfers, they didn't just enter the water, they didn't just came. All of these people, they caught a wave and they went to the shore over there. Oh, maybe it's better. They went on the beach and then they walk all the way and then they enter again. So in 2 hours you make about 6-7 rounds, depends on how quick you catch the wave. Let's look at some surfers. Also at the beach always there are a few photographers and videographers, so you can ask them if they have any shots of you and then you can buy some photos. I think that it's very important to support local freelancers. Therefore, I bought pictures from one session. For all my pictures from one session, it was 200 dirhams, I think, or 250 from one guy. And also I made a deal later on with the local girl that she will keep my photos and I will buy before I go. So today, actually, I'm gonna meet her a little bit later after I finish with this video. Here you can see the boat, and the boat will go between the surfers over there because this is the port, the fisherman port, where these boats go out and in. But I've never heard or seen some dangerous situation. They are always very careful and the surfers are not idiots. They can see the boat and can avoid it. White water mainly, of course, there are students, there are surf instructors and the lessons. So white water lessons are provided mainly in this area. So these people, they are not in the way at all, which is good because it's quite a lot of surfers here and quite a lot of beginners here. So, well, I think this is it. In general, as a conclusion, that was an awesome month in Imsouane. I'm very glad that we spent it here and we surfed a lot. We surfed, I would say, oh yes, as a conclusion, we surfed within this 5 weeks, I think, more than 2.5 weeks. So more than half of the time we were able to surf, and now it's February, so it's not the most windy month, and also because the bay is protected, it's a little bit sheltered from the wind with the cliffs, so even if the wind blows, it very much depends on the direction, but most of the time it's really nearly glossy. So now it's nearly 3 p.m. and it's still really glossy. And what about the swell? It starts to work from 1 meter swell, but when the wave is small, when the swell is small, it works only from the first peak to the second and not further. And therefore it becomes too crowded and too many party waves and this kind of stuff that me personally, I don't really like. So I tried not to surf when it's too small, but also it's possible to surf cathedral when it's very small. And 3 meters, and especially 3 meters and something like 17 seconds of period, which happened a few times, it's a little bit too big. So you can surf because the wave on the second and third peak are of course smaller. So let me show you surfers again. Maybe it's more interesting than to watch only me. So you see every single wave someone is riding. So when the swell is too big, first of all, the currents are strong as well. And second of all, it's, I don't know how to say, but somehow it's not as pleasant as when it's smaller, but it's less people. And when the tide is neap tides happens when the moon phase is half moon. The currents are less strong. So it depends if you rode from first to second peak to the third one, or not the peak, but kind of the place where people catch waves, like line up from break. Yes, this is break. So if you surf from first to second or third break, the currents are not that strong in neap tides, so basically you can paddle back. But I would advise just to catch one more wave and go to the shore and then come back. So I think now this is it, and I'm gonna go and drink my orange juice. And I think that was quite successful walk, so I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye, ciao ciao.